The Smash roster is one of my favourite parts of the entire Smash series, with the inclusions of new fighters every installment. Never knowing who's going to be added into Smash 6, some fighters don't make it in, either being deconfirmed from Mii costumes, assist trophies, or other fighters taking the spot, as well as a few other things. Welcome to A New Foe Has Appeared, where we talk about ideas for fighters that could possibly happen in Smash 6, if not the future. I'm your host, BB8 from BB8's House. Let's get into it. Up next. Hey there, YouTube lovers. Welcome to A New Foe Has Appeared. I'm your host, BB8, as always, coming to you on April 12th, 2022. In this episode of A New Foe Has Appeared, we are talking about someone who already comes from a franchise we've talked about before. It's just, we haven't talked about this franchise since 2020 on A New Foe Has Appeared, so this might get a bit rusty. So, and for the ones who have already seen the thumbnail, you might already know who it is. For the ones who don't, look at this. That's right. Tracer from Overwatch is who we're going to talk about today. It has been a while since I discussed an Overwatch character in A New Foe Has Appeared, last time being D.Va and Mecha in 2020, which did surprisingly well for the channel, even though Tracer might not get there like D.Va and Mecha. I have wanted to talk about another Overwatch character for a while, I just couldn't decide who. And I knew Tracer, being the mascot of the franchise, meaning Tracer kind of makes sense for an Overwatch rep, because I know most franchises mainly have their mascots represented, not ARMS, because we have had Min represent ARMS and she's not the mascot. And at the end of the day, let's get into it, shall we? So for Tracer, her neutral B is Pulse Pistols. Tracer points her Pulse Pistols forward and fires 4 pulse shots from each other her pistols. These shots deal 4% to 1% damage per shot, depending on how close you are to the blasts, and cause flinching, and the damage isn't high, but the move is quick and effective in the hands of someone who knows how to use Tracer. And after firing the rounds, Tracer reloads by flipping the guns in her hands, which takes about a second to reload. Her side special being Blink Dash, Tracer zips horizontally forward a short distance, slightly further than Fox's side B, but in the blink of an eye, leaving behind a trail of blue energy behind her from her chronal accelerator. This leap causes Tracer to move forward with extreme speed, along with deal slight damage and flinching to opponents. She can also avoid ranged attacks in this fashion, but can be hit by melee attacks if they are timed right. You can use the Blink Dash 3 times in a row before her chronal acceleration shorts out, where it will have to wait 10 seconds before recharging, so be careful not to use this ability too much. If you wait 2 seconds between at least one of the blinks, then you can avoid the cooldown time, and these blinks also stack up with her recovery, so be careful. So her up special being Blink Leap, as Tracer zips upward at a diagonal angle quickly a short distance, about half the distance of a regular Blink dash. Because it is a short distance, however, you can press B multiple times to recover more ground. Just like the Blink dash, be careful not to short out the Chronal Accelerator, or you will have to wait for cooldown. For her down special, being Recall, utilizing her signature move, Tracer rewinds time exactly 3 seconds into the past when doing this. Tracer rewinds to the exact spot she was 3 seconds ago, along with going back to the same health she had at that moment. This move is super effective, especially after taking a big hit. However, there is a 10-second cooldown to using this move, so that you cannot overuse it. If you try to use Recall while using cooldown, Tracer stomps her feet and scoffs. While in cooldown, her Chronal Accelerator on her chest will not have a bright blue light to it that it usually has. And when the light is back on, you are good to use the ability again. And for the final smash, we have Storm Rising. A final smash original to Smash Bros. Although she doesn't have this move in the game, this is seen in a cutscene for Storm Rising as seen in the Archives event. You're probably wondering, BBA, why didn't you just use Pulse Bomb? I do think Storm Rising as a final smash does sound a bit cooler, with this being a cinematic final smash, and when Tracer hits an opponent or opponents with her motorcycle, of course as seen in the Storm Rising level during the Archives event, but instead of the AI robots she fights, she is fighting the captured player or players in the trucks. She then melees the fighters, which deals around 10% to 30% damage, and then once she has finished her melee attacks, she plants a pulse bomb on the truck the captured players are on, and just as the pulse bomb explodes, leaving the players with 30% to 70% damage from the pulse bomb, leaving the players with a total of 40% to 110% damage. And as the pulse bomb explodes, Tracer blink leaps off the truck and she returns to the fight. So for the ults and the Kirby Hat, unlike Diva and Mecha, where most of her ults are legendary skins, only the last two are either epic or legendary. So her first ult will just be her standard skin from the game. Number 2 will be her Royal Blue, based on her Royal Blue recolor, Neon Green, based on her Neon Green recolor, same with Hot Pink and Electric Purple, but the only difference with Fusion Red is Fusion Red is not a recolor in Overwatch. This is the only Smash original ult for Tracer. Slipstream being based on her Slipstream skin, and Ultraviolet being based on her Punk recolored skin. And for the Kirby Hat, she'll get Tracer's hair and goggles alongside the ability of Pulse Pistols. So for the classic mode, Root, her classic mode will be called Cavalry's Here. a reference to one of her catchphrases in the game. Her classic mode reflects on 3 classes available in the game, being tank, damage, and support. Each battle will have Tracer face off 3 opponents, with each representing one of the 3 classes. So round 1 being Mario, which is damage, Peach being support, and Bowser being tank. Round 2 is Link, Zelda, Ganondorf. Round 3 being Pokemon Trainer, aka Squirtle for damage, Ivysaur for support, and Charizard for tank. Round 4 being Fox, Wii for trainer, and Donkey Kong. Round 5 being Inkling, Rosalina, and Ridley. Round 6 being Bayonetta, Palutena, and King K. Rool. The boss fight being Master Hand and Crazy Hand. So for the stage, I picked King's Row from Overwatch, obviously. Similar to how I picked Busan, South Korea for D.Va, I thought I had to go with a UK stage for Tracer, only to fit with the country that specific hero is from. And King's Row, from what I know of, is the only UK stage in the game. So the iconic King's Row map from Overwatch appears as Tracer's home stage. This stage is fairly long and large, that is reminiscent of the Onyx. And the first part of the Garrick Mark Monastery is where it's a flat stage with some buildings on each side you can leap onto to gain high ground. In the background, a fortress-like background is rich with details, and you can occasionally see heroes and villains of Overwatch battling in the background. This can include every hero and villain from Overwatch as you see them leaping around the rooftops and firing at each other. Soaring through the air and running around in the background, King's Row has one main hazard, though that is an optional risk and reward hazard, and that is the payload. A large EMP bomb payload will hover into the middle of the stage after a short while and will remain in the middle of the stage for about 30 seconds before driving off quickly. While driving off, it cannot take any more damage. The payload gives you one of 2 options: protect it or destroy it. If you choose to protect it and the payload stays intact for 30 seconds, whoever dealt the least damage to the payload will gain a stock in stock battles and a KO point in standard fights. This can also mean multiple people can win and get points if those players or opponents do not touch or attack the payload. The other option, however, is to attack and attempt to destroy the payload. If you attack the payload enough and deliver enough damage to KO it, like the Yellow Devil, the fighter who delivered the finishing blow will be immune to the EMP bomb that explodes in a large, violent, and deadly explosion. So you decide, do you protect the payload to get additional points, or do you destroy the payload and hopefully KO other opponents? So for the spirits, it was kind of a tough one here, because I have already discussed spirits for D.Va and Mecha, with Tracer being swapped out for D.Va. So the spirits I chose out were Tracer being the fighter spirit, D.Va, Reinhardt, Winston, Wrecking Ball, Ashe, Bastion, Doomfist, Genji, Junkrat and Roadhog as a duo spirit, Cassidy, which OG Overwatch fans might know him as McCree, but he's called Cassidy now, May, Reaper, Soldier 76, Sombra, Torbjorn, Widowmaker, Ana, Lucio, Mercy, and Zenyatta. So for the victory poses and the victory theme, Tracer's victory theme will be the victory theme from Overwatch, but the only difference with Tracer is similar to Joker's victory screen. The announcer does not call out Tracer wins, but instead the voice actress from the Overwatch announcer reprises her role for this victory screen and instead calls out play of the game at Tracer, similar to the play of the game screen from Overwatch, but instead calls out the hero's name. The victory theme keeps playing until you leave the victory screen for the next battle. The defeat pose is Tracer humbly claps for the winner with a smile on her face. Victory pose 1, with Tracer is seen blinking around the victory stage 3 times, and on the last she sits cross-legged and waves at the camera saying cheers love. The victory pose 2 being Tracer spins and balances on one foot as she looks over her shoulder and says better luck next time love, being based on the over the shoulder emote. And victory pose 3 as Tracer salutes and poses heroically for the camera and her hands on her hips, being based on the salute emote. So for the reveal trailer begins in Mute City, with Kirby riding his star, Captain Falcon riding his Blue Falcon, and Wario riding his bike, all having a race against each other, but one mysterious motorcycle ends up chasing them, and then the camera moves up to show the characters' feet. Before they blink leap, they blink dash pulse bombs onto all of their vehicles, and once the pulse bomb explodes, she recalls back to her motorcycle and says, let's try that again. And then she hops off her motorcycle and blink dashes into her pose from the game's cover, and the screen splashes, I'm ready, Tracer. So guys, what did you think of Tracer? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another new foe has appeared in the future. And the character we are talking about next is... What? The character's silhouette didn't show? Oh, that's right. The next episode of A New Foes Appeared is the 50th episode. So the reason I've done that is because the next character I'm going to talk about is a surprise. Not even the thumbnail's gonna tease who it is. And it is a big character I've wanted to talk about for a long time. I'm not saying who it is, but I guess you have to wait for that New Foes Appeared episode to find out who it is. I'll see you all in a future episode. BB8 out.